Surprise, surprise, The king is back!
There's a jogger, actually. Look at this. Wow. It's a Florida man right there for you, Blake, jogging in the hurricane.
Let me be very clear. I'll never give up. Never.
I mean, a coward and a hero, they're the same. I mean, they feel the same. It's what they do that makes them different.
To all those people that have chosen to disrespect the player, in this case me, have a good night. I played in much more hostile environment, trust me. You guys can't touch me.
Right now in life, your family is looking for that one guy right now. They're looking for that one guy who's strong, who's that pillar for the family in hard times. Make sure they look around and find you. These are the times right now for you to step up. Be that guy that can take anything.
I sacrifice everything what I have. I will sleep, train, eat, repeat, and that's it. Like, you want this or no? There is not like 50-50.
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
When I'm hurt, I love it. I love that feeling because it's real. That's the most realest feeling that you could ever have, is being in pain, because everything else, happiness could be fake, crying could be fake, but pain, that's real.
I mean, I've lost MMA fights, I've lost boxing fights, I've lost so many fights in the gym, you know, I lose all the time, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. If you, any true martial artist will know, in order to succeed at this game, you must lose a load of times, you know what I mean? You must lose many times, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. We all have the same emotions.
The truth is, most people don't change their mind, they just die.
I got it. No one's gonna come to help me. No one's gonna come to help me. It's against me, period. And so I had to man up, and I said, the first thing I gotta start doing is facing every fear I have, no matter what the it is, man. And these things would keep me up at night. No one, people who are hearing this, they will never really understand and grasp when you face these things and so many things, how they keep you up and haunt you at night.
It's those times when even the hardest motherfuckers in the world are looking around for guidance. It's that one. Be that one.
Be that guy.
Be that one. When even you're saying to yourself, boy, this sucks, I don't want to be here right now. Be that guy who finds the courage to say, you know what, man?
What's your name?
Agree!
Success isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in silence. In the moments no one else will ever know about. What people see is just the tip of the iceberg. But what they don't see is where the real story lies. It's not just about showing up when everyone's watching. It's the grind in the dark, the hours spent mastering the smallest details, and the discipline to keep going even when it feels pointless. So put in the work when no one's looking, because that's what separates those who want it from those who make it happen.
Yeah, from nothing to something to everything. So that's where I am right now.
The Creator never intended for you to beg for anything. If He had, He would not have blessed you with full control over your own mind. If your life is not what you want it to be, you can change it.
My childhood was completely taken away from me. There was no Christmas, there was no birthdays. It was not a normal childhood, no normal pleasures of childhood. Those were exchanged for hard work, struggle, and pain.
Doesn't matter where you're coming from. I actually think that the more disadvantaged childhood you have, the more difficulties and more challenges you have, the stronger you become.
Go back to the gym, work, because you have more to show. You understand? Life continue. Pain, you're gonna have all the time. Uncertainty and constant work, constant work, constant work. Doesn't matter what's it's gonna happen in your life, you have to continue. This is the way I see the life, and football especially.
learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. I said if you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune.
One thing I've learned over the years from my coach, that the last one is the most important one. That's when you improve. So if you got 16, you're in 5, and you're tired, you're dying, you gotta even take take a little bit more rest time, take 1 more minute and go. Because that's when you start improving. That's when the work pays off now, because your legs are dead and you gotta push your body. You gotta overcome. It's like you're moving past a barrier, moving a step forward. A lot of people just wanna stop because they're dead tired. You gotta do that extra one. That's gonna be improved.
Instead of staying in your room the whole day, go outside in the air. Instead of just walking slowly through the park, start running through the park. Step by step, do something that you get out of the heaviness.
Like bro, when you're 19, 20, 21 years old, you might not be celebrated at that stage in life for being smart, you know, and for having ideas and being focused and passing on, going to the club. You won't get celebrated then, but bro, give it 5 more years.
Yes. Yep.
Give it 10 more years,
yes,
and you will become such a commodity in society, bro.
Yes.
The world will be in your hands.
Take some ownership. Your life is exactly what you wanted. Because every day, you've had choices to make. You're responsible and credible for every single choice. The small ones that you don't even remember, you don't even think anyone else will have credibility or ownership of. Some do have ownership of them. The little tiny nuggets of life, the harder paths, the little tiny seeds that bear the great oak in the forest. They all get planted one day, the little saplings before they turn to the monster.
To all our younger guys out there, life's a marathon, not a sprint, okay? Don't feel bad about yourselves because you're 23 years old, you don't got no money and you can't compete. Take your time. I was broke as when I was 26. Broke as I was a millionaire by age 35. Give it 5 years. Give it 10 years. Figure it out. You can do it.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
Am I happy? I don't know. Never really thought about it. Don't really care about it. Because all I really cared about was when I looked in that mirror, I saw a piece. Happiness wasn't on the mirror at 16. No, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and say, all right, you did it again today. Because that sucks.
I realize that the goals, it's more important than stepovers. It's chapters that you have in your life, and you realize that things that you do, it doesn't worth it anymore, or worth it less. And I start to realize that to win important things and win Champions League and golden balls, you have to score goals.
You start going to the gym, you feel weak in order to become strong. You go to the library, you read, you don't understand, you feel stupid in order to become smart. The process of discomfort is inevitable. You have to go through it. Most people have that initial feeling, that initial lack of self-belief, because they don't understand that they have to be humbled first in every aspect in order to grow. So you go to the gym, you feel like shit, that's a good thing.
I didn't teach myself victory first. I taught myself failure. I taught myself how to fail. And people are like, that's so depressing. Is it? When you're 300 pounds and you can't read and write and you're up, you know how many times you're gonna fail on that process? So if you don't know how to fail, there is no victory. I never talked about winning because I knew the path to winning was gonna be years of failing first. So I taught myself how to fail properly.
The truth is, whatever game you play in life, sometimes you're going to lose. A point, a match, a season, a job. It's a roller coaster with many ups and downs. And it's natural when you're down to doubt yourself and to feel sorry for yourself.
Do you just stop believing? Do you stop believing in yourself because of what other people say? Do you stop believing in what you can achieve because, you know what, there's a very small chance? The mentality is to continue to go, and in the end, if you fail, you fail. If you succeed, you succeed, but you become better every single time.
What are you gonna do? How bad do you want it?
there's two options: to continue forward, pushing upward. And if you do, that dream is given birth, and forever you will live in the reality of it. If you stop, quit, throw in the towel, I promise you there's no distance you can travel far enough to ever find that dream again. For it is dead. And in its death, it's replaced by regret.
You have got to make a decision in your life. You have got to make a decision about your fitness. You have got to make decisions about your business. Because you know what? Your only other option is to crouch in stagnant fear like a coward and potentially die. And potentially put the lives of everyone who depends on you in jeopardy. I will never quit. Because if you quit, you're done. I will be the one that is physically harder and mentally stronger, and I will work to maintain that position.
Fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. And so it looks like this ocean that you're going to step into and drown. But as soon as you step into it, you realize it was not that deep at all, and you can keep walking through it. And I just love that visual, because a lot of times when it's like we have this anxiety around this big decision we have to make, if you actually take the step and realize that it's not death, you're not going to drown immediately. There's plenty of other steps you can take from there, even if you get a little wet.
And some people feel like, the word people use is imposter syndrome. It's all bullshit. Just fear that you're not enough. We all have that fear, brother. But if you demand that you push it beyond what it's comfortable with, and that's what you're doing right now, you're pushing beyond your comfort. You were settling for comfort to try to survive. Now you're like, F that. I want more out of this life. I'm not going to settle for that. But then you keep telling yourself the old story. So change your story, change your life. It sounds overly simplistic, but it is true.
If you're complaining more than you're talking about your vision, then you're in inertia. Energy goes into those lower frequencies. Doubt, worry, fear, you're in that dynamic. But if you start talking about possibility, even if you don't know how to get there, then your energy starts to go up. What if? You ask a what if question. What if all my needs were met? What would I be doing in my life? What if everything is really working together for my good? What if all the bad things that have happened in my life are leading me to activating some great potential in my experience?
You could create enough of a visualization for yourself if you really were to powerfully start to focus on it and do that and build that ability to visualize something that your brain at one point would have to think it's so true that the world would meet you and put it into your life.
It was isolation, it was visualization, it was motivation, and it was dedication. There was nothing else going on in my life. To get to the level, it needs to be like that. It needs to be no outsiders. It needs to be, you need to have your team and your focus, and that's it. I don't need friends that aren't involved in this game.
Success is 5% strategy, 95% mindset. Most people spend 95% of their time on strategy, 5%, if any at all, on mindset. It's about the mind.
The most important thing is probably keep betting on yourself and bet again and roll the dice and roll the dice. What happens as you get older is you realize that these opportunities were in front of you and you didn't jump for them. Why? You were in a bad mood, or you didn't know who to call, or so forth. Life can be understood as a series of opportunities that are put before you, and they're time limited.
If you have the discipline to manage your time correctly and not waste a bunch of time, if you have the discipline to exercise and eat healthy, you will end up with freedom.
So your philosophy in life should be to say yes to that opportunity. And yes, it's painful, and yes, it's difficult, and yes, you have to deal with your family, and yes, you have to travel to some foreign place and so forth. Get on the airplane and get it done.
To be honest, I don't like excuses, explanations. My philosophy is to be perfect, to not answer on questions why you did this, why you did that, and have some excuses.
Don't take today off. Not today. Wait until tomorrow. Don't give in to the immediate gratification that is whispering in your ear. Shut that down. Do not listen to that little voice. Instead, go through the motions. Lift the weights, sprint the hill, work on the project, get out of bed. Now, as an overall rule, I do not like procrastination. You need to get things done.
Pick it up. Pick it up. Are you ready for the fire? We're firemen. Okay. We are firemen. Got it, Coach. The heat doesn't bother us. We live in the heat. We train in the heat. Yeah, let's go. What do? We control the place.
You don't save your fuel, but then you're just gonna be exhausted. How are you gonna make any progress if you're not taking anything close to failure?
A normal wavelength will never change unless the frequency of the motor changes it. And with a higher frequency, greater output, greater dreams, greater belief in oneself.
Every time you show up and every time you're on point, if you do that on the regular, even if every day you're not even making 1% improvements, you're making 0.01% improvements. Over time, those will add up, and those will add up exponentially. You can become completely unrecognizable.
People probably won't know that I grew up like on my dad's couch, so we didn't have any money. I remember the struggle. I remember how hard it was for my mum. I remember how it was for my dad to keep me racing. So I know how hard it was. And then on top of that other struggle with acceptance and not fitting in, it's all bubbled up into, created the beast, I guess, that you see on the track.
Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he said, at your highest moment, be careful, that's when the devil comes for you.
It's a scary place to be when everyone around you is telling you how good you're doing, and then when you are alone by yourself at night, you look in the mirror and you don't feel like you're doing anything.
Remember, there's a great power inside you waiting to be unlocked, but it's up to you to bring it out. Use it, rely on it.
I believe in something called the Tarzan method. What that means is you're Tarzan, you're here, and you want to get to the other side of the jungle here. Ideally, there's this straight line. But what you find in life, what I've found in life, this is non-existent. This straight line here is a unicorn. It doesn't exist. Instead, you reach and you grab onto whatever vine you can grab onto and you swing. And that vine might carry you in this direction, which doesn't feel like the right direction to your goal. But it does get you a little bit closer. And then you grab onto another vine, it swings you all the way over here. And then this direction, and this direction, and this direction, and this direction, and this direction. And eventually you make it to where you want to be. I don't believe that there is a straight line between where you are and where you want to be in life, ever.
I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't F around, I don't party, I don't go out. Am I lame for that? Absolutely. To be lame in the eyes of somebody I would never want to be like is nothing but an absolute success. You see, it's only an uncertain person that needs company in what they do to feel like it's the right thing. But real confidence stems from doing what's best for you, even if that means doing it alone. My biggest confidence comes from consistently pushing myself and leaving no gap between what needs to be done.
You are going to win in the end. Mark my words. You are going to win in the end. Those tables are going to turn. If you're going through a period of losing right now, if you're feeling low, down, depressed, you are going to win in the end. Only if you don't let that break you. You have to be resilient to tough times. Whenever the odds are against you, you've always got two options. You can crumble and go into despair. Or you can choose to stand there and wait for the storm. Take the hit. Take the shot. When you fall, get back up. Get up. Wake up. For you are going to win in the end. If you weather the storm, you're going to have the experience required to go through this tough life. The tougher the times you go through, the tougher the person you become, the stronger you become. Every rejection I've been through made me strong. Every heartbreak I've been through made me stronger.